everybody. It's Chapo. Started it. It's Tuesday here. Coming a bit late. It's been hot.
Yeah, it's a little warm, guys.
Okay,
I don't know if you noticed that.
So today's a bit of a special episode. It is our 666th episode.
That's right.
So we wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys today. Obviously the show has become somewhat bi-coastal, and I'm trying to decide, where am I going to move? Where's the future of the show? Where's going to be our new home base? And I thought today, we had an amazing opportunity that we had to take advantage of, and we're recording our 666th episode from, you guessed it, hell.
That's right, folks. Pandemonium itself. We're here, and I got to tell you, it is not a dry heat. Just warning everybody who wants to do some sins in the afternoon that it is fucking not a dry heat. I am sweating my balls off here. Literally, they're gone.
It's a little bit uncomfortable here in hell, but hey, look, it's all part of the experience.
Exactly. I'm trying to feel it like that. Yeah, it's like the one chip challenge.
We've lined up some great interviews for you. It's Will and Matt here.
Yeah.
We have made the journey across the River Styx.
Yeah. Felix isn't here, but that's because he is in Jewish hell. Recording his own podcast. We don't know how that's going to go.
He is in Gehenna right now. But the thing about hell.
Yeah, good old Dante's Christian ass Euro hell.
The Inferno is that it is restricted.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
There are no Jews here, and look, why would we want to invest money and buy property in a place like this that's restricted? There's no Jews allowed. Look, folks, it's hell.
Yeah,
it's evil. What'd you expect?
Yeah, exactly. You want it to be sustainable and democratized? What would that mean about those values? Think about it, folks. Come on.
I don't know. My first impressions of being in hell, perhaps a preview of where we're all going to be spending quite some time in the future. I got to say, it's uncomfortable. First impression, though, my first time visit here to hell, as a tourist, there's a lot more birds swallowing bodies whole than I had expected.
That's true. That's the big, honestly, though, otherwise, this is identical to Houston, Texas. It is honestly uncanny. It feels basically as hot, and the humid is there. It's about as it's laid out in a similar way. And the main difference is the giant birds picking people up and chewing on them and then excreting them. Yeah, there's a big pair of scissors chasing people around, kind of like Q-Bird or something. There's a giant hollow ass that people are getting stuffed in. I guess I got to give Bosch that one. Tip of the cap. He nailed that.
And Dante, he was the original sort of geographer of hell. And I got it. One thing that's been a little annoying is walking around the streets here, just on the pavement, the gravel, the sidewalk. It's just everything. It's not an even surface because every surface is essentially the faces of millions of souls frozen in a rictus of soy face.
Yeah.
So you're stepping on soy faces all the time. It's
very
everywhere
annoying.
You look. It's like a YouTube thumbnail.
Yep. It's like you're putting your foot through a gopher hole, and then you look down, and then there's Chuck Wendig there gnawing on your ankle.
But yeah, like I said, we've lined up some great interviews for you here.
Yeah. Some of the small sliver of the stars, because let me tell you, folks, all the stars are here. Seriously, if you've heard of them, they're here. It's uncanny.
Hey, Matt Christman, it's the Big Bopper. Remember me? On the plane crash. I'm in hell now, baby. Chandeliers. But hey, Big Bopper, thanks for stopping by.
Wow.
Thank you, baby.
Who else can we have?
I'm being sodomized by the devil. Woo!
I wonder if he has been able to record any new songs here in hell, or
no, just Chandeliers. It's the only song I ever had. That's it. Bye-bye.
Honestly, you got to figure he was kind of relieved when he died. Like, oh, thank God I don't have to follow that up.
At least Buddy Holly's here with me.
So, the Big Bopper is just one of the cavalcade of celebs and stars that are in hell. But the first one we'd like to talk to is somebody who we hope can give us sort of an insider's view of hell. Church of Satan founder Anton Sander LaVey.
So, listeners, when Matt and I decided to visit hell, we knew we had to talk to someone who could show us the real hell. something away from all the tourist traps that you find in Bedlam and Dis and all the hipsters clogging the river Styx these days. We want to see the real hell. So listeners, we've got a great guest for you, the man who can show us the real hell like no other, the founder of the Church of Satan, the author of the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey. Anton, welcome to the show.
It's me, y'all. Good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's just nice to have a break because, again, yes, it's just hipsters everywhere. They fill the streets, and I am sick of it because they don't remember the real hell. You want to know what real hell is we could talk about taxes. You want to get into my strain of libertarianism, we can really get into it.
And so before we get to that, I mean, just like, what a life story. I mean, they say it's better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. I mean, you're a man who's certainly embodies that.
They are absolutely incorrect. Honestly, management here blows. It's really terrible. There is no there's no comeuppance for anything. I honestly, it's just me. I'm making calls all the time. The delegation it's killing me because I don't know if you understand how difficult it is to get fellow Satanists to do anything that the manager of the Satanist asks them to do, because it's all individual wills and each one of them is their own star, and none of them want to do what I fucking asked them to do. So, I'm sorry. I'm putting my bullshit on you. I'm sorry.
So, like, Anton, back in the earthly realm, you started out as an organist at a nightclub in San Francisco, and then went on to found the Church of Satanism. Could you just talk to us a little bit about what began your journey to become a high priest of Satan and to found such a dynamic modern religion?
Do you know, honestly, I do. I trace it back to the fact that I became bald at the age of 7. And I knew immediately there cannot be a God that would allow this to happen. So I immediately set off. I knew, first of all, where is the naughtiest people? Where are the naughtiest people? Around the boards of any form of a keyboard, right? You go out there and it's always bling, bling, ding, ding. Have you ever heard a calliope? It's so evil and fun. And then I think a lot of it had to do with truly, it's nice to go to a place where the goatee is fashionable. I'm completely bald. People who love watching me, even as a little boy, learn how to play the piano. And that's kind of what drew me. It was first the music, and then it was the evil.
And so the Church of Satan, your acolytes, what's the most important thing to you about about the Church of Satanism? The beliefs that make up worship of the devil.
Well, what it is truly, it's about individual liberty and this idea that we are all born into a system that we cannot escape, right? This idea of original sin, an immediate hypocrisy that we're born into, that we are forced to live, and then you kind of, and there's the idea that we walk around and you see, you do see homeless people of all stretch everywhere, all these street urchins everywhere, but their precious God, their precious church will do nothing to take care of them while they live in these giant ivory castles. But honestly, it's also a really good way to get psychologically damaged, beautiful women to be with ugly men. And that is what's the major key, is that it's a pipeline to short, angry, just the worst-shaped men that have ever existed, and it allows them to speak in a funky new way that I've really helped. It really helps, because again, the menstrual blood is essential.
That reminds me, have you run into Jane Mansfield again since you've been down there?
She won't talk to me. Apparently, she is still a little bit upset because she said, fuck my boyfriend, and I thought that she wanted me to do something about it. And that's how I knew the perils of being a nice guy and how these women, they manipulate nice men because we think that's what they want, but it's not. I thought you say, hey, you got a problem. I cursed your boyfriend. I thought this was going to be, and then she was going to be then, of course, my girlfriend.
Do what thou willst. You could interpret that a lot of ways, but I'm hearing from you mainly, do what thou willst. It's an excellent pickup strategy. This is what women want. They want a man who can do what thou willst and be the whole of the law.
Isn't it the most deviant thing in the world to make love to an ugly man? That's what I say. Don't you want to throw terror into the face of your God? by having sex with the man with the hairline of Geppetto. Yeah, wouldn't you be excited? Because everyone wants to be with Chapo, and I'm just one of them. It really does work. You'll be surprised how if you tell them it's crazy for them to do it, they'll just do it. Because again, it's how long could be having sex with me literally takes 2.5 minutes. It's 2.5 minutes out of a whole life. Very easy to do.
So, like, for any of our listeners who are perhaps interested in Satanism or maybe dabbling in it or interested in the religious practice of devil worship, I mean, where are some of the ways? How should they start? You know, what are the rituals? What are the lessons that they should imbibe on their path to hell?
Truly, if you want to be a Satanist, the way it first begins is it started as a strict Catholic is a good way to start. To eventually become a Satanist. And then you start being a person that goes like onto Reddit going, I hate WandaVision. Right? It's something that everybody else loves. If everybody else loves it, you have to make sure that you're at the very center of the discourse that says that you dislike it. That's also a way of teenagers you can start to get into it. But also, it is sincerely, I think that it's a good way to understand that the villain has a viewpoint as well. Like the idea of I know now it's hokey to talk about being the devil's advocate, but the idea that that person, that entity, the other side, has kept the Christian church in business all of these years for a reason, because they do need petulant assholes reminding them that we're your enemy, right? Like, I thought you wouldn't be anywhere without us. You need Satan's army. But the thing is about Satan's army is that largely they love Death Wish coffee, and then Liquid Death, which is fun because it's got it's evil water, which really really helps. And it's just the idea of wearing horns casually, I think, is really a good gift that we give to the world. That you can go out, you can wear a horn. No one really will doubt now. I think that we've done that. In the last 5 years, Satanism has really brought that sort of back, like fairykin outfits.
You know, like the black mass that you created, sort of as a dark inverse, a parody of the sacraments of the Christian church, which of course
parody is the correct word.
Parody.
It is. It's true. Parody is the correct.
But the Christian God, Jesus Christ, worships a weak guy, like who let himself just get killed like that. Nobody helped him.
Come on.
So
He's
and then
skinny. Fuck him, man.
And then,
if he wanted to not be on, it's easy to not get crucified, man. You just wait. You got to move them hands. You got to kick them feet. If you get it right in there, like he should have struggled the whole time. I think about truly what a fucking bitch he was. The fact that he carried his own crucifix to the stump. You would have to fucking cut my head off before I am taking my own guillotine to a fucking. Honestly, you already got me started. That's all I needed to go.
But like you said, in your parody, in this ironic parody of Christian worship, obviously, to take the Holy Sacrament to transubstantiation to receive the blood and body of Christ.
Cannibals. Yes, they call us cannibals.
Is this where all the menstrual blood and jizz comes in with the Church of Satan?
My friend, you are right on the money. You don't even need to do the reading. I can send you a bunch of literature about how important cum is. It's everywhere. Because one thing that's amazing, truly, it's your own food. If you are alone for weeks at a time, like let's say you're barred inside, you're kept inside, you're in isolation, or you're on a desert island, something like that, you can make your own food from your own penis for weeks. And if you eat your own cum, because there is calories in that is completely real, you could do that and drink your urine for up to a period of time. And then I think then you become legally a libertarian if you do eat enough of your own jizz and cum up to a period of time. But it is to replace the sacrifice that our ancients used to do, right? The idea that we used to kill animals and sacrifice because it was the ushering forth of the blood that came from the animal that we'd harness. We'd harness that argon energy, the thing that comes from the very veins that allows it to live. And so in order for us to replace that, because in Satanism, again, we are commercial. Right, we are trying to move units. We're trying to create other little groups of Satanists. So we needed to lighten it up because people get really freaked out. Because again, a lot of these Satanists, you find out they're fucking vegetarian. They don't even want to deal with it. They don't want to do the animal sacrifice. So cum is our expulsion of this energy. And yes, we harness it. And I did write I wrote an entire book called The Satanic Witch. It is all about entrancing people and attracting them. And one of the main tenets is that, especially if you're a woman and if you want someone to fall in love with you, you do adorn yourself with your own menstrual blood up behind your ears. This is completely real. And you put it into your cleavage, because the idea is that we will smell the oncoming fertility from you and we will be attracted to you. But a lot of times you just smell like a bed of nails.
Sort of an iron.
Yeah.
It's very irony. It's very irony.
Who's making liver and onions?
It is distinct.
So what is how much, I'm wondering now, in hell, is there a lot of cum or none at all? What's the cum ratio?
Unfortunately, there is a straight up lack of cum. And legitimately, it is because they were trying to take away our personal power. They don't want us to do, but we're all edging in hell. Unfortunately, we are just get to the very top, and then nothing. You can never go. It's like being on Paxil. You're just stuck in it. So there's no cum, but it's like but also I appreciate it because everybody who's torturing, they're also not enjoying themselves, and so it's kind of like on brand. And then you find out that Satan himself is actually not very happy, and when none of us are living our best lives or doing anything, and so I guess there is that. Again, I think I've heard the term. It's a vibe, not cum.
All right, so Anton, you mentioned one of the main things that the Church of Satan was founded to protest and fight against was unjust taxation.
Yes. Me, Dr. Demento. If we could do the insurrection all over again, if I could have been there, I would have been there. Honestly, I feel like there should be an insurrection every year. I honestly agree. I agree with that. But yes, that is one of the reasons why. Mostly, it's hypocrisy. It's this idea that they all mark themselves as they're compassionate and they help the weak, but all people do is pay in and get nothing out of it. You get spiritual coins, but you don't get anything out of it. They're like, you should be able to get a check every month if the church is not getting taxed.
I mean, you were highly influenced by Friedrich Nietzsche and Ayn Rand. I mean, I assume they're both in hell, right?
Oh, yeah, we're having a great time. But Nietzsche, honestly, Freddie is just such a fucking downer. He's so upset all the time. And I get it. I was like, hey, let's make the most of this. Let's think about this. He's so sensitive because he didn't do anything wrong. But telling God he's dead, it's like reading your own reviews on iTunes. It's not good. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear the truth from anyone. It's brutal.
But you as an let's so we say a less than a perfect 10 as a guy have figured out a way to have sex with all these beautiful women.
Oh,
Ayn Rand with objectivism found out a way for men to have sex with unattractive women as well. So I mean, she was sort of a pioneer in that regard.
It's kind of nice actually that they get some too. That the sour faced capitalist also can get sucked. And she is. Honestly, I do get kind of annoyed because believe me, I'm a Satanist. I'm a self-starter, right? I believe in that. I get out there. I know what it's like. I can put myself. I'm my own boss, my own engineer, no gods, no masters, blah, blah, blah. But Ayn Rand is a pain in the fucking ass. And her books, I don't care who John Galt is. I don't care. I mean, I was into it for a second. And then I met her. I guess maybe that's what it is. As that people meet me, I try to do both. It's called satanic duality, right? So when you meet me, you hear of me. You think he's this evil lord of he's the master of deception and loves torture, blah, blah, blah. And yes, part of that is true. But also, I'm a funny guy. I'm a person that likes to mix it up. I like to meet people. I love holding court. I love throwing lunches. It's like, that's really all the Satanic Church was an extended, like, cocktail evening with naked women tables and then my very poorly kept lion that I still feel, I honestly am guilty about to this day. I never should have did what I did to that lion. It was very, very bad. But again, that's what Ayn Rand misses. It's like, it's got to be fun. It's like, don't you want to take time off from being a bitch? Like, just for a second? Like, don't you just want to, like, have an afternoon where you're not Ayn Rand, where you're just, like, a lady about town? I don't know. She's too in character.
But, I suppose that, like, there are people who call themselves Satanists, but it seems in our contemporary world now, there are way more people who call themselves libertarians. And
Sure.
I guess what I'm wondering is it possible to be a real libertarian without worshiping Satan?
I feel that they are very, very close. It is very difficult to separate. It's like, I guess that's how they say. It's like, not all libertarians are Satanists, but all Satanists are libertarians in general. Yes. And I think, honestly, it's got a lot to do with the fashion. Have you ever been to a libertarian meetup? Like,
I have. I mean, well, I'm in one right now. I'm in hell, but
yes.
yeah.
Yes. Well, the problem is that it's how do you say, it's all been curated by Walmart, where Satanism is about bringing some edge to it. I like to cut, like, it's about packaging. Satanism always was and always will be about the circus aspect of it. Is that you got to have fun with it. I want to wear a cape and not pay taxes. That's being a Satanist.
I mean, we hear a lot today about how we live in an increasingly secular society, that religion plays less and less of a part in the lives of young people today. So I guess, like, in the 21st century, what does Satanism offer the world today?
Well, Satanism truly, again, Death Wish coffee is at the top of the market thanks to Satanism. There's a whole, if you look at, Hot Topic has never been more in touch with what the youth want. Satanism really could, again, it's dialing it back. Because I like what the Satanic Temple is making it all very political, which I think is really important. The idea that we should be able to have common spaces. If you're going to have a Ten Commandment statue, we should be able to have a Baphomet statue, which I don't even fully agree is the actual central symbol of Satanism. I actually don't even know how we got there. I know he looks metal, but he's, it's kind of just more of a symbol of duality. But people need more of a sense of humor with their doom. Like, I feel like this is the perfect time. If this does feel like very heavy times, right? It feels like everyone's very scared of what's going to happen. But that's why it's like, dance on your way to the grave. I think that's really important to be frivolous, suck dick, eat pussy, do drugs in the next couple of years. I think that's the one thing that my original stripe of Satanism can bring back. Just remember to suck a dick in the next couple of years and enjoy yourself and get your penis sucked by whoever's there and enjoying themselves. I feel like that's the key.
You had a lot of celebrity adherence to the Church of Satan, like Jane Mansfield, Kenneth Anger with influence in his wonderful films. But I mean, like, who's repping Satanism today?
Reese Witherspoon. With just her simple. Have you seen her speech? She got arrested where she's like, "You know who I am? Do you know who I am?" I was just like, yes. Yes, girl. No, we do need some better representation. I do think that it would be nice if finally some people can kind of come out and say, hey, yes, we're Satanists, get with it. We're loud, we're proud. It'd be nice for you to hear that that's why fucking Dianne Feinstein is still alive. That she has some form of connection to the fucking deep, dark, like, Set. I know that she talks to Set, who's the ancient god of death in the Egyptian world. And she's ready to crack open this whole world, which is why she's trying to make marijuana illegal in California. But yeah, I don't fucking, I hate these people. I fucking hate them.
I mean, so, like, upon death and now, joining the Dark Lord in the afterlife, was there anything that surprised you upon entering hell and meeting the big guy himself?
Again, just straight up, I died. I went straight from the heights of mid-1980s squalor, San Francisco. And it was incredible. Yes, I was addicted to heroin. Yes, none of it was great for me necessarily. But as I was going to be dying, it was right as I was about to die. But, yes, I'm going to hell. Hell, sweet Satan. This is going to take care of me. man, there's just nothing happening. I thought that it was going to be like Jimi Hendrix and Sid Vicious and piles of heroin and multi-legged, like, women of Babylon that we were all going to spread. And honestly, we've just been sitting in a gray room. For 35 years, I've been in a gray room. And I'm starting to think that it's that, like, I guess it's like you hear all these stories about the monkey's paw arrangement with the devil, and you're going to find everything that he does, he's going to twist it with something ironic. And I always just thought, yeah, sure, for everybody else, but not me. But then apparently, no, I am just everybody else, which is devastating.
I guess, like, okay, so, like, we're considering moving the show to hell. Just, you know, like, any advice?
Good luck. Fucking good luck. I don't know. You want to be near the train. That's for fucking certain, because you don't want a long walk. It is a nightmare. A lot of people I'm seeing are living. It's very similar to Greenpoint, where it is people are living 10 people to an apartment. It is very, very intense. But you got to be hungry for it. I think that's really it is. As long as you're willing to go out, because you're going to need to do between 20 and 30 shows a night. But what really is important in hell is the hang. Is that as soon as you get out here and you start doing these shows, you're going to really want to put your face around, because you're really not going to get any good, like, sights of any of the torture destinations unless people know you and they vibe with you. That's what's most difficult. It's the partying. It's all that. It's all the after hours shit.
Is there anyone in hell that you were surprised to find here? Betty White, the Big Bopper.
Honestly, I knew Betty White was coming, because there was no way she was supposed to live for that long. She was a heroin addict her whole life. I knew that for a fact. I was mostly surprised by, you know what's nice? They let David Bowie visit. He's just so curious, so he just, like, they let him come down, like, he visits and he says hello and stuff, and it's like he says a bunch of weird stuff about, like, because he did magic too, but it was all milk based, and I don't understand, because I can't stand milk. I don't really know why. Anyway, why would you drink the piss and cum of a lesser animal that's not a human? Yes, I'm drinking human cum, but it's just coming out of its, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And the fact that he even drinks so much milk, I don't understand. But that's nice when he comes down. But pretty much everybody you assume is down here is fucking down here. They're all here.
I mean, Anton LaVey, I mean, you're an author. You've written many books, founded a religion. Yeah. Are you cooking up anything new? Do you have anything you want to plug?
What I was hoping to do is I want to get into the world of mukbang, which apparently is very lucrative for some people. And again, I love eating large amounts because it's a hedonistic lifestyle. So you do you, love doing that. And I love making choking noises. And I think that the audience will love it too. I think that they will see. But yes, it's a lot of, I really want to stick to chicken wings or, like, something really carnal like that, something like pork ribs or something. But yeah, mukbang. I it's so hard. There's so many outlets now. There's so many ways to do content now that it's like, where would it matter if I arrived at? And so I do think in many ways mukbang could use a hedonistic stripe of Satanism.
Well, I mean, I can't wait for that.
We're looking forward to seeing that.
I can't wait for the satanic mukbang videos.
Is that good? Is that sensual? Are you supposed to masturbate to this? I honestly don't know.
Anton, I think if you've proven one thing to the world, is that you can masturbate to pretty much anything if you put your heart to it.
That's incredible, isn't it? Isn't the word magical?
It's great. It's great. Well, Anton, I want to thank you so much for your time. I mean, you've given us the glimpse here of the dark side, and I got to say, you're making a strong case for moving the show here. You know?
Yeah. For the tax breaks alone.
I mean, it is key. But I swear to fucking Christ, if you up my rent, I'm going to kill both of you. Okay, don't you ruin this neighborhood for me. Okay, because
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm maybe like sort of like lease. It's like a timeshare or something like that. I'm not fully committed to living in hell.
Definition of all, a timeshare. You'll never ever be free. Another trick of the devil.
Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. I really want to thank you for your time and showing us a bit of your hell.
Just make sure you never take anybody's bullshit. Don't touch a child unless they ask for it. And every day, eat a jar of cum. You'll make $1 million. I mean it.
Thank you so much for your time. It's Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Wow, I guess it seems like he's Anton is maybe having second thoughts about the whole devoting his life to Satan thing. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be having a great time. That's all I know.
No, I mean, yeah, like you said, he is not. Look, if you're worshiping the devil and expect to get any kind of VIP treatment here in hell, I got news for you. You're just it's pretty much you're going to get the standard treatment.
Yeah, your only real hope is to just be so cool that Satan wants to hang out with you. That's it. That's your only hope of getting any kind of decent treatment down here. Which is why we're hoping we might do okay because we're so goddamn cool after all. It's interesting that Anton says that it's interesting as Anton points out that there's no cum at all here in Christian hell. But according to, maybe we can confirm this with Felix later, according to some medieval Jewish traditions, in hell, the fornicators, for example, drown in rivers of cum. So there you go. I mean, I'm not seeing any of that here yet, though.
I wouldn't mind a little cum. I mean, just a little bit here.
Yeah, fill me up. That's what Will's saying right now. Fill me up with cum.
I believe it was Jean-Paul Sartre who said that hell is other people.
Indeed.
I mean, he's here too, so he's one of those other people now.
Yeah.
But I mean, now that I'm here, yeah, there are a lot of people here. It's a little crowded, but some might say hell is a lack of other people's cum.
It's true. We're just cumless over here. And you're like, oh no, but you're drowning in the cum. It's like, well, what's the worst part of drowning? Like, you're afraid you're going to die? Well, you're in hell. Don't worry about it. Settle down. That's the thing I don't really get. And I guess if we stay here long enough, I'll figure it out. I mean, yeah, it's like, sucks. This is awful. I'm sweating my ass off, as I said. I keep getting my fucking liver pecked at by this giant bird with a human face. But every time it happens, I'm a little more used to it, So exactly how do they keep this fresh, I guess, is the question I have. I don't understand it.
I mean, we're not the only people who are dead here in hell. I mean, we're visiting her right now. I mean, we ran into Rod Dreher a half an hour ago. I had no idea. I mean, but apparently, he's considering moving here as well.
Yeah, he just likes to check things out, to keep tabs on all the latest perversions so that he can share them with his newsletter readers, just strictly as a journalist.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes the point that he says while he is, being flogged by a dominatrix with pig legs, he's screaming, "This is for journalism. I'm not being turned on right now. This is not hot."
I mean, look, he's an international traveler. I mean, now that he's freed up from the wife and kid, he can, he's in Hungary, he's in France, he's visiting all kinds of retreats with young grad students and things like that. But Rod is in hell. He's spending the week in hell here.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was great to run into a friendly face.
Yeah.
In the pit of sodomy.
Yeah, he was doing that same face he made when he saw those oysters.
Yep. He was just like, "Hi, guys, it's Rod."
Journalism.
"Hi, guys, it's Rod here. It's Rod here in hell."
This place is a disgrace. People need to hear more about it. Viktor Orban needs to become king of hell and fix this place.
He said he's going to be spending a lot more time here, though. And, it's just good, because we don't know that many people here.
Yeah.
And, Rod's a guy we know.
Face.
So, I mean, we're getting dinner later with Rod.
Yep.
Look, and I know we've had our shenanigans with Rod, but look, we're all in hell together, so we might as well make the most of it.
Yeah, we're gonna get oysters, but in hell, they're all the giant Red Lobster oysters that taste like tires. But once again, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna get a good Puget Sound oyster. What do you think you are?
In hell, the sweaty giant Magyar men, they chew your pork knuckles.
The pork knuckles chew hairy Magyar men.
Well, when we came to hell, I mean, obviously, we had a lot of big gets, a lot of dream names that we wish we hoped to have the chance to interview, and we were lucky enough to get, I think, two of the biggest names in hell. You know, when you go to hell, there's two people you want to meet. Ladies and gentlemen, we are lucky enough to be joined by Adolf Hitler and Satan himself. Guys, welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
It's great to be here, yeah.
Great.
I'll start with you, Hitler. I mean, how things been, you know?
Good.
How you holding up
Yeah.
is really the question I want to know.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people here don't really know what their path is, what their journey is, but I came in with sort of a plan, and I've mostly been focusing on myself, healing, and then making amends for what I've done in life. So,
And like, how has that amends process been carried out for you here in hell?
well, you know, I guess I have been focusing more on myself. I've kind of gotten into surfing and, you know, just reading, hanging out with friends. But, you know, yeah, if anybody wants to come by and talk with me, I'm happy to sort of say, look, I'm sorry for everything that happened, but that was years ago, you know? It's sort of like, you know, you probably have done things in the past 5 years ago, 10 years ago that you regret.
Yeah,
And for
absolutely.
me, it's what, 80 years? Something like that. I mean, I barely remember it.
And then Satan, the big cheese, the big
Hello.
dog.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. I'm a Professor Dr. Demonius X. You might know me as the King of Satan.
I mean, really, you're the one responsible for really all evil in the world that's ever existed.
That's right, baby. You know, things here in hell are just, you might consider them a tad askew.
We do
Just
things a little differently down here.
They're just a little bit twisted from the norm. They deviate slightly from, you know, the mainstream. So,
But we have fun here.
yeah, we have fun. You've seen the Addams Family? Are you familiar?
Yeah, of course.
That's hell, babe. That's like that's basically what everyday life is here.
We've got a channel here. It's all Adam's family.
We've got, you know, Uncle Fester. We got a guy who's just a hand walking around.
You know that they're creepy and they're kooky thing?
Yeah, and
that's us, man.
And we think, you know, people like Abu Ghraib, they think being tortured is bad. We think it's good.
Well, I mean, it's just something to do, and that's, again, not to get back to my personal journey, but when you come down here, you'll a lot of guys don't like it. They get in a funk. It's because they're not doing new things every day. I'm doing something every day, and whether it's getting tortured,
They're not making
or going
the
to a
most
book
of
club.
what
you
they
know,
got down here. Yeah.
Pickleball.
you know, we have like our public parks are actually pretty nice. We have like monkey bars and things like that. You can,
Yeah.
Everyone gets their own golf cart here. That's a big thing I've noticed.
yeah.
right, yeah.
Well, they.
But all the golf carts, they got one busted wheel, so it's always like turning to the right.
Right. It's like a shopping cart.
I mean, there's got to be like some like, you know, caveat, some kind of sort of like punishment, you know, for like.
Technically, yes, it's a punishment.
There's always something in hell.
That's right. There's just a little tiny twist.
I mean, I'll be the first to say it. Hell isn't perfect.
It's not perfect.
Hell's got problems, but we make do.
We're you know, we're improving every day, doing a little bit better.
So, how much torture is involved here? Is there a quota every day? Does it vary? Are you getting tortured like for a law, like really get in the business, and then you like take a long break, or is it like pretty constant? What's the
I
regimen?
mean, there's a shortage
Well-
of demons, so it's not as if not everyone can get tortured every day. But I think the people that want to get tortured, Catholics, they get tortured, right?
You know the part in Metal Gear Solid where you're fucking you know, Snake is like tied up and you got to mash the X button to get. That's like, you know, what torture is here. You know, you just got to keep mashing the X button, and for like 2 minutes. And then you get a different cutscene when you do a good job.
Well, Satan, you know, Lucifer and Morning Star, you know, the original rebel angel. I just like your story is an inspiring one. So, like, you know, could you take us through just your decision to rebel against God Almighty and, like, you know, go from being an archangel to the Lord
I'm
of Hell?
sorry,
Yeah.
that's propaganda.
No, I am a fallen angel. But it's because I literally fell. I fucking, I slipped on a banana peel up there. Fucking,
So this is
Ernest dropped a fucking banana peel in heaven, I slipped on that shit.
I knew Ernest went to heaven. So God just like never got around to
God
bringing you back up. Or
God
anything?
does
You
not give a shit about
He
anybody
can't-
but himself.
He can't see down. There's a fucking cave in the fucking earth. You know?
No, Satan is being modest. I will say this about Satan. He is the celestial Bernie because in heaven he was more popular than God, and a lot of people started saying we should have a vote. We should decide
We should vote,
who
yeah.
really runs this thing. A lot of people, I know who I would have voted for, and God was like, no, we must uphold the tradition, monarchy, all this. He's an old stuffy piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, you had a problem with the main guy. You know, Jesus Christ.
I mean, his son. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, talk about nepotism.
Yeah.
You know?
That guy, and here's the thing too, people from heaven sneak into hell all the time to party, and there's a certain wayward son we see every weekend.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be scandalous if people knew that up top.
Ooh boy.
Keep
that under your head.
Hitler. I mean, look. I mean, you've had quite a legacy back up on Earth. But I guess I'm here in the 21st century now.
I've been here longer than I was on Earth.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, what I mean is like I'm surely like I don't know if you guys get the news down here, but fascism, it's coming back. I mean, Italy just went
Ooh,
fascist.
they.
Mamma mia.
I mean,
It's a spicy meatball.
I don't align. You know, I'm not really a political guy anymore. But I mean, she is basically girl Hitler. You know.
But I mean, like, your thoughts on how the legacy of fascism has played out in the 21st century. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people who still like Hitler. I mean, would they be disappointed you found out that you've sort of chilled out?
I'm wearing shorts and a Hawaiian shirt. You know that I'm just not that guy anymore. I've changed a lot. You know, one thing that happened to me was I found out I have ADHD. And it makes sense when you look back at the films. I was moving crazy. I was always had some harebrained scheme, you know. And look, I hope that anybody that's still a fascist would take a lesson from me and say, hey, it's not out there. It's in here. And you got to work on yourself first.
It's true.
Absolutely.
And Satan, you know, like when a guy when a VIP like Adolf Hitler comes through hell for the first time, I mean, how are they treated? What can they expect?
Well, let me tell you something. You know, here in hell, things are just a little bit twisty, you might say. So we think a guy like Adolf Hitler is actually good. You know? But yeah, we you ever have that like friend in middle school who you just go over to his house and he lets like the dogs and cats like piss and pee all over the floors?
Sure.
That's what we do now. We just let the animals poop and pee at wherever they want. And it's considered order here and not chaos.
Well, all animals come here. It's a very heaven is empty.
The rainbow, there's no such thing as a fucking rainbow bridge. You know, rainbows, they're not solid. The fucking animal's going to go right through it and into
And
my
right
realm.
down to hell.
Yeah, right into my lap.
We love kitties and puppies down here.
They're fine, yeah.
I'm like, Satan. Do you have a favorite sin?
Oh,
Favorite
wow.
vice that is celebrated here in hell?
Well, you know, here in hell, things are just a tad askew. Everything's a little bit different. So, I mean, you know, things that are considered sins on your plane would actually be considered good here.
If you do a number of sins, you can get like a free meal, and you know,
Yeah, you
goes
know,
on your card. It's
So
nice.
what then is the best good thing? The best good thing you can do? Like will get you high fives down here in hell.
You could, you know, rob a bank. You fucking know you know the crimes, you know.
We're big on blaspheming God.
You know, yeah, you know all the main, like, you know, the crimes.
So you can't pick a
blasphemy.
favorite. It's just like if you're doing crimes, you're doing good.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know,
I mean, all those guys, the Joker, Riddler, they're all down here.
I mean, the real crime down here is charitable acts, like, you know, donating to the local museum or picking up trash on the highway. That's considered kind of a gay down here. So
And
don't do it.
and in hell, gay is good, right?
It is. It's nice. Yeah.
I've noticed there's quite a lot of sodomy down here.
Yeah, you're really leaning into that as a motif. Is that just like seasonal, or has this been going on for a while?
It's kind of boring, you know. we're into like really vanilla sex now. It like goes like we go back and forth between but yeah, we just overdo it sometimes. We're like, oh shit, we gotta get back to basics here.
Hitler, you mentioned that there's been sort of a labor shortage of demons. There's not enough ironic punishments
No
going
demons
on
want
down
to
here.
work anymore.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing with hell is the population. We're in a boom, I guess you
Yeah.
would say, and it just keeps going up and up. But we only started with the same demons. I mean, what do? You can't just make new demons.
No. You can't turn a human into a demon. I think that doesn't work. Like the whole body structure is completely different. They're just not like built to have horns coming out of their head.
But I mean, do you find that the demons nowadays are not like as Matt said, they don't want to work anymore. There's sort of a lack of enthusiasm
That's right.
for their
yeah.
job.
That's right.
They're sort of quiet quitting.
They're sort
They're
of
only just doing
bourgeois,
just the bare minimum.
I would say.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they become bourgeois.
Well, they're not quiet. They're always screaming. Always. But recruitment has never been better. Everyone's coming down here because there's like a miscommunication or something. Like pretty much nobody's getting into heaven. It's like everyone is just going instantly to hell because God forgot to drop the rule book down here or something. So everyone's just
they're just guessing.
they're
and
just
getting
like
wrong.
guessing. Yeah, they're like, what the fuck?
It's pretty random.
It's random. Yeah, you might say it's
like I mean, obviously, like
it's had askew.
the vast majority of people listening to this interview right now, like they pretty much guaranteed that they will end up in hell
Certainly.
after they die. But I guess I'm wondering if, like, for the few people out there who don't want to spend eternity in hell, what are some of the best ways to avoid going to hell if they so choose that?
Well, like I said, there's no escaping hell. There's fucking no rules.
A lot of times I notice new guys come in and like, what am I doing here? I'm not bad. I'm not Hitler. And I'm like, wow, I'm right here.
No, well, you ate shrimp, you fucking idiot. What do you think is going to happen? You eat shrimp. They eat shit on the ocean floor. You think you want that in heaven? You want like shrimp eaters in heaven? That's fucking disgusting.
I mean, it's using toilet paper. They don't like that.
No, toilet paper, I mean, that comes from trees. That's an animal. Trees are an animal, and you're just stripping their flesh to wipe your... That's horrible. That's horrendous.
So avoid eating shellfish, avoid wiping your ass.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Heaven
start
is
with
full
that.
of stillborn babies.
No.
And it's like, do you really want to be around that? It's a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, it's popular in Japan. They got the bidets. So, like, everyone in heaven is just like Japanese because they're the only ones who, like, follow the rules.
Hitler. I mean, like thinking back to your life on Earth, World War II. Obviously, that's a big part of your story. If you could go back and do it again, what would you change?
I mean, I think I would have began that journey of self-discovery earlier. I would have stopped frantically looking for things to do. I mean, the reason I really got involved with the Nazi thing, it was the only time where other people helped me along. People were really into it, and I think I would have asked myself, "Do I like this?" But you need collaborators to finish any project.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I would have spent more time in Vienna, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, wrap your head around this. Why would I punish Hitler if he was bad? Because I like bad things, So maybe... Does that mean that Hitler is actually good on Earth? And when he comes down here, he's bad?
Which makes
is
him good.
Yeah.
For me?
Satan is a bit of a philosopher.
Yeah, well, just think about that,
So, like, what are some plans for hell? I mean, look, it's there's a lot of history here. Dante, you got all the different circles.
There's no circles down here, man.
No.
Everything's square.
Is there any plans to add any new squares, any new levels to hell, any new things that you can go to hell for?
Oh, we got what's in it? Crypto's in the news.
Crypto, yeah. You fuck up with crypto, you fuck up in life, you come down here. I mean, yeah, you NFTs. If we just got into NFTs, you gotta if you have like a little demon avatar.
Yeah, if you're goth, you go to hell.
Yeah, that's right. We got like Invader Zim merch all over the place down here.
A lot of girls with dyed black hair and hoodies. Hell.
Yeah, they're the best.
like what is, and as far as like the people who are currently living on Earth or maybe trying to go to hell or avoid hell, I mentioned Dante. I mean, you said that was 100% capped. There are no circles down here. It's not the map he laid out is completely fraudulent.
Which is why Dante is in hell for lying about that.
That's right. Yeah.
What would you say are some of the popular misconceptions about evil and hell that like should show their face in popular culture?
Why does everyone think everything's on fire here? Like, why would anyone want that?
No, it would burn down our condos.
It would be so fucking annoying to have to keep rebuilding shit because it burns down. So, I mean...
It's ridiculous. People need to think about the economy of hell and how it functions.
That's right. I mean, like, whenever a tree dies, it usually goes to heaven because trees, are usually pretty good. So, it's hard to get wood down here. And so, why would we want to burn all the wood we're getting?
Yeah, I mean, you have to wait for a tree that's done something bad.
That's right, yeah. I mean, like, some of them, like, fell over on top of, like, a lumberjack. So those, we get all those, the lumberjack trees. And they, we build little sheds to live in.
Why would you want to burn those down?
Yeah. So, if people on Earth are, listening to this,
all aluminum foil goes to hell.
Yeah, get some like goat's blood and rub it all over the tree. If you want to help us out, just like slather some trees in goat's blood and cut them down for us. Because we need them. We need trees. We need wood.
Hell needs wood.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, like, there's fire, but it's only very discrete areas of hell.
Well, I mean, and we're being sanctioned, of course, so we can't get a lot of these supplies.
That's right, yeah.
For so-called human rights abuses.
Sleepy Joe Biden. Fucking asshole.
Walk me through a typical day in hell. What Hitler? You get up in the morning. What do you do?
Every day for me is different. But the important thing is to find something to do every day. Again, books, movies, friends, the beach. You have to have a goal. And I know what that is the day before. Today I went to Erewhon,
How's the heroin? What are the prices like at the Erewhon in hell?
It is expensive.
Well, every supermarket down here is an Erewhon. So you don't have much choice, do you?
It's a sacrifice that we make here in hell. Hell's not perfect. Again, that's the thing I say. Guys come down here.
We don't make sacrifices. We accept sacrifices, Well, was God going to like see our sacrifice and go, oh, okay, maybe hell is actually good? Like, what do we got to sacrifice here?
Hell is it's the ghettoized version of heaven, essentially.
Okay, well, I mean, we've missed the boat on heaven's acceptance. I think
I wouldn't go there if they invited me. Frankly,
yeah. Well,
I'm here with you, buddy.
Sucks.
Hitler, like when you're thinking about what's going on in the world today, like who are your guys? Who are your guys who's like really like upholding the Hitler legacy on Earth now?
Again, I'm trying to distance myself from all that. We just did another interview with the Try Guys.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing some pretty cool work.
Yeah.
But I mean, frankly, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. I think the last thing I tried to watch on TV was The Good Place, and it was very cloying. So I didn't enjoy it. My girlfriend's pretty young though.
You ever watch Squid Games?
Haven't seen it.
That's what hell is, baby. We just do things a little bit different down here, baby.
Wait a minute, Hitler. You say you have a girlfriend down here.
Yeah, some news. Hello.
Yeah. Who is she, and what happened to Ava?
Some people, they come here and they're so tied to the past that they just can't change, and unfortunately, she's one of them.
Well, Ava went to heaven,
She was getting in the way. No, she was getting in the way of my personal journey.
You got cucked by God.
That's not what it... That has nothing to do with it, because we were still talking on the phone.
Yeah?
My girlfriend now, I can't name her, but I will say she was a princess of a country I bombed. Okay? So...
What about some of your former friends and collaborators? Goebbels, I mean, you still in touch?
He draws furry art now. So I'm glad he has moved on in a way, but frankly, I don't like hanging out with him. He's a weird guy.
I mean, he only died in like 2019. I mean, he's very savvy on all the latest
really?
internet trends. Yeah.
Oh wow, that I wasn't
breaking
aware
news
of.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a relatively new addition. To,
Oh
died.
yeah.
Yeah, he was living in Brazil, so he really only speaks Portuguese.
That's right. Yeah.
And like is it like I said, we're not going to name her. So it's a new relationship that you've just started here. What's dating like in hell?
It's kind of like a treadmill. You just get on it, and there's so many different people, new people to meet all the time, and not a lot of people want to settle down. And luckily, my girl is a little bit more traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered opening up the relationship? Or people poly in hell?
Every poly person goes to hell. So yes, people are poly here.
Yeah.
People are going to say, "Oh, Hitler's conservative. He's
Reactionary.
I'm a react. No, I'm not. I just, one woman. That's enough for me. What other people choose to do with their time is their own business. Hitler's gonna worry about Hitler.
So the Antichrist.
Yes.
Your boy. So
Yeah.
Is he on Earth now? Will he be arriving shortly? And if so, not, where is he? What can we expect?
This is kind
from
of
this
a
guy?
TMZ question.
What's the scouting report
I
on the
kind of
Antichrist?
lost track of him, honestly. This is this guy named Bob Hope. He was a funny guy,
He died a number of years ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Nobody told. Where the fuck did he go? I didn't see. Did you see Bob Hope anywhere?
No, I haven't seen him.
Wait a minute. Did he go to heaven?
He better not have, this motherfucker. Fucking turncoat piece of shit.
Well, I mean, the thing about the Antichrist is he's a really bad guy, and that would be the most awful thing to do to you.
Yeah, I mean,
to go to heaven.
Nobody's ever betrayed me. This is fucked. I'm feeling things I never felt before in my life.
It's like I guess my thought is we're considering moving the show to hell. I mean, could you just pitch us what are some do's and don'ts for first time people who invest in property in hell?
That thing about peeing in the pool and it turns the pool a different color, that actually works in hell. So don't pee in the pool.
Ouch.
Thanks for that one.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to say do pee in the pool because we do things differently around here. And the pool is actually the wrong color until you pee in it down
The
here.
pool is actually just piss, and then if you pour water in it, it turns a funny
That's
color.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. No, you piss in it and it turns blue instead of
Watercolor.
yellow. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Just I mean, we're only here for a little bit longer. Then we got to go to Chicago 'cause we're doing a show there.
My
Saturday.
condolences.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just any must do's, must see things to take care of here in hell before we go.
you got to see
Go on a
a
hike.
cave. There's a cave here that's really nice.
The guy
You
with
got
the-
like stalactites. You know that shit.
Yeah.
Like you got caves on Earth. But they're cool.
Do they got those the fish guys with the human legs and the fish heads? Are they running around in
mermaids?
there? Yeah.
The reverse mermaids.
Yeah, those guys.
Okay. Yeah. No, they're all black down here.
Well, what does that mean?
it's
They
woke.
still exist.
Well, yeah, but
Has hell gotten too woke?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Hitler. I'm gonna. You can field this one. Has hell gotten too woke?
I'm not a political guy. I don't pay too much attention to it. But these kids, I mean, the thing is, you can't even perform at colleges anymore.
no.
Or stadiums, big rallies.
It's just they want to make their own identity, and part of their identity is these little cartoons, Steven Universe or whatever. And
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while we get here in hell, we get a guy who's like, I want to torture, a Mexican guy or something, and we're like, come on, man.
that's too far.
Yeah, I torture. It's like a lottery system, it's completely blind. There's no,
it's a meritocracy.
no
It's a
race
true
considered.
meritocracy down here in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on which quote unquote car you're in. So which gang you kind of affiliate yourself with in hell. But I mean, it's very strange when someone's like, "Yeah, let's kill Jews," and it's like, even I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, I mean, come on.
First of all, you can't kill anybody down here.
No.
Is just I guess Does love exist in hell?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love to do things a little differently.
Okay. I mean, I know you guys are both very busy. I really want to thank you for, penciling us in for a little time here because, you're running the place down here. It's like number 1 and 2. So I really want to thank you for just donating a little bit of your time to us here today. Satan and former Chancellor of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, Adolf Hitler.
Thank you.
Yeah, good talking to you guys. I'm gonna go fuck a rat. So, hope you all have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Okay, it's like, a lot of things people complain about here in hell. It's sort of like Europe. Not a lot of ice water.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They serve you water. It's fucking room temperature.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I'm saying?
very annoying.
And again, no air conditioning. It's a
Yeah.
lot like Paris, honestly.
Yeah, it's but we're not walkable. Obviously, you're just
No,
on
no.
highways over
Yeah.
no shoes. It sucks.
But I gotta say though, the food pretty good.
Surprising. I wouldn't
It's
think
pretty good.
that.
I had
Yeah.
I had a nice. I had a pho. I had pho. A nice like a beef pho. I mean, it was beef. I mean, like it was called baby pho.
Yeah.
But like I mean, I was assuming that was just sort of a marketing ploy.
Yeah, yeah.
Fetus pho.
Yeah, it's like how they always say crab rangoon. That's never a crab. Imitation at best. Don't worry about it.
But the fried calamari here is just fried hog anuses.
Yeah.
There's no hiding that.
It's refreshing, honestly.
Yeah.
And it does taste identical.
Yeah. And what are some of the best bites we've had here? There's a great little empanada place. But like the coffee, kind of middling. Yes, it's hard to get a good. Like I said, no iced drinks down here. I asked for a cold brew. They looked at me like I was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it sucks.
They were like, dude. They were like, buddy, you're in hell right now. It's hot bevs only.
Yeah. As a result, I have not gotten a single Coca-Cola. Hot Cokes are not good.
But I mean, all the CEOs of the Coca-Cola company are here though.
That's true.
But you know what? The Coca-Cola secret ingredient: aborted fetuses.
People said that was Pepsi, but
Yeah,
it's no.
it's actually Coca-Cola.
Yep, they did it again, folks.
Okay, well, the next interview you got lined up. I mean, like this is a guy that he's probably the person I was most excited to talk to here in hell because he's probably the person most surprised to find himself in hell.
Absolutely.
Probably the hardest loss of Pascal's wager of all time.
Got brutally owned.
Ladies and gentlemen, eminent author, literary critic, and bad boy Christopher Hitchens is in the house, is in the hell. All right. So, like I said, next up, we have a man who is perhaps more surprised than anyone to find himself in hell. Author, literary critic, Christopher Hitchens. Christopher, how's it going?
Well, despite that rather supercilious and facile introduction, I am somewhat vexed to report that my situation has been rather unpleasant as of late.
When you agreed to do the interview, we reached out to Pascal about his wager and the fact that you lost the wager, and we asked him for comment, and he just replied to our email with the abbreviation for laughing my ass off.
My reply to Pascal, as it is to you, is the same as it would be eternally, during a mortal life on Earth or otherwise, is that the wager cannot be lost any more than it could be said that if Sir David Hume had lost on points, billiard game after billiard game after billiard game after billiard game, that one could say that the game did not exist. The proof of a scientifically known, organic, and therefore mortal nature of life itself, and therefore a godless, atheist reality of the universe we inhabit, is not only conclusively proven in my books, but also conclusively settled in debate by my appearances on CNN and MSNBC and parties hosted by Graydon Carter. I do not accept. I do not accept that my current predicament, as difficult as it may be, is what you would term to be a sentence to everlasting torture in hell. That is a fantasy for school children and obese Baptists. I maintain.
But
I maintain, and I do urge myself to continue. I do urge myself to continue this very, very important point. I do maintain that although I am put under extreme duress on a daily, nay, hourly basis, and that there are flames surrounding me in every direction, I maintain that it is merely a hallucination of the pineal gland, that I am still inhabiting a hospital bed and suffering from esophageal cancer, and that I am merely in the throes, the final moments of an organic creature's last breaths on this earth. I believe that I am merely rehearsing a debate in my own head at the conclusion of a lifetime, as one would in the shower or at any other time of one's existence.
So I mean, like this is sort of inspirational because we're here interviewing you in hell. As I
am not in hell. I am not in hell. I refuse to.
Okay,
I refuse to concede the point.
Like I said, that's inspirational. You're sticking to your guns here on the atheism kick. So I mean, like, any comments about the non-existence of God and the non-existence of hell that you'd like?
Although one would look around and understand. One would look around, and if one were not if one had not matched wits with George Galloway and other worthy opponents in the arts of letters and sciences, if one's mind had not been honed with the knives of Vanity Fair, one might allow one to be seduced by the persuasion that you are surrounded by a Mephistophelian torture that may last for a number of thousands of years or an eternity from the scale of a human lifetime. However, I understand. I, along with thousands of superior minds dating back to so far, understand that what I am experiencing is nothing short of my own mental mindscape. Even do not interrupt me. Even though I'm subjected on a 24-hour basis to a severe waterboarding, one could call it a waterboarding. I'm subjected to a waterboarding with the collected semen of Evelyn Waugh. Even though
there's a lot of jizz here.
It is set on fire. It is mixed with gasoline. It is the flaming cum of Evelyn Waugh. Even though I'm subjected to this on a 24-hour basis, I refuse to admit that what I am enduring is any sort of punishment from any sort of deity. If it were, it would conclusively prove that deity were of a lower mental capacity than the victim of his punishments. Even though I have been subjected to a trial where Aristophanes himself appeared, borrowing from the plot of his own play, The Frogs, appeared and held a trial for two deceased poets, of which should rise from Hades to rescue Athens in his moment of greatest in her moment of greatest difficulty, where a trial was held, comparing the letters of I, Christopher Hitchens, with those of Tom Wolfe. And though it was presented to me as if I lost the competition, and the coax of the Frogs of Aristophanes took Tom Wolfe back up to the living world, I understand it to all be fictional. Answer me this. Have you seen a resurrection? Have you seen a resurrection or a reincarnation of a Tom Wolfe? I take your silence as confirmation that it is a bonfire not only of his vanities, but a bonfire of the concept of reincarnation itself as well. I am being... I do not consent. I do not consent. My mind is free. I will not submit. I will not submit to this display of Islamofascism. And although in moments like this there are clearly weeping and gnashing of teeth, I refuse. I refuse to recognize that I am not being given one final interview, one final unnecessary interview with myself on my deathbed, which seems to have lasted now at least 12 years.
So yeah, I'm hearing no regrets as you experience this temporary natural phenomenon of DMT hitting your brain and recreating a very, very lifelike fantasy of you being tortured for the things you said and did while you were alive. As you wait the final nothingness of complete actual death, which is, nothingness for eternity. You're standing strong and no regrets, but I mean, is there anything you wished you could have done more while you were alive?
I only wish that I could have impressed with a greater sense of conviction and justice, my superior sense of humor on the female sex. I only regret that my persistent flop sweat, stinking of gin, was not personally shared but with Christiane Amanpour, but was done so over a satellite link connection.
Obviously there's the Iraq War, there's torture, there's spreading the gospel of new atheism. You did also refer to Mother Teresa as, quote, an Albanian midget. Come on. Is there any regrets for that alone? You think maybe this is why your DMT death trip is the way it is because of the Mother Teresa stuff?
Maybe it could have been more fun. Maybe this could be more of an enjoyable experience here. Maybe a reconciliation, with loved ones.
I look around plainly to answer your point. To answer your query, I look around here in this erstwhile hellscape, and I do not see Mother Teresa. I do not see the Albanian whore. My eyes are clearly open. I perceive myself blink. I blink, therefore I argue. I look around quite clearly and I see no Mother Teresa. And we all know, in any honest intellectual analysis, you would know that if this were an eternal damnation, that Mother Teresa would be here, along with every other Christian saint canonized by the Catholic Church. I see them not. Therefore, this cannot be hell. QED.
What about other religious figures that you've lambasted in the past? I mean, are you seeing them now in this sort of fantasy created by your own mind before the eternal void of nothingness? Anyone you're happy to see joining you in this Baroque fantasy of your own torment?
One would think what I see familiar faces. I see familiar faces that remind me of the combative newsrooms of London and New York. I see people that I would have seen in a party at Vanity Fair. I see very clearly, obviously what has happened is that there is a vigil around my hospital bed. And I'm being fed gin and galwal. And what has been experienced here is nothing. And I damn them. I tell them not to comfort the dying in his final moment. I have a piece that will be debuting soon in the New Yorker called Against Comfort.
I gotta ask though. You've had many epic battles with Gore Vidal. Has Gore showed up in this fantasy of torment?
Gore Vidal has not shown up in this fantasy any more than he otherwise would in my daily fantasizing of debating with him. I see him not. You Tennessean fool. To quote a celebrated review of one of his final and least impressive works. Palimpsest. I would say again regarding Mr. Vidal that he is fat, he is obese, his mind is aged. His mind, as his arguments are aged, he is, if not a willing tool, then certainly a fellow traveler and a useful idiot for not only Saddam Hussein, but the Ba'ath movement across the Levant and Southwest Asia. Who among us could have predicted that the aristocrats of the Tennessee Valley Authority would become the water carriers, so to speak, for the Ba'ath movement? Indeed, the Ba'ath has reached from the Tigris and Euphrates to the Columbia and Tennessee rivers.
Any other former collaborators like Donald Rumsfeld? I mean, you work closely with him on the whole Iraq war thing.
Rumsfeld, I see daily Rumsfeld. He is next to me in the hospital. He is comforting me in my dying moments. I see, yes, and he screams. He screams constantly because he cannot imagine living on without me in the world, beset by the radical left and the fundamentalist right. He screams of torment, knowing that a world without Hitchens is a world dimmer by far. I do not subscribe to the fantasy that his torment is supernatural in any way. This is conclusively proven.
Now, what about is Saddam there? You were going to answer that one. Have you seen Saddam?
Indeed, I have seen Saddam. Indeed, I have, and I understand what I believe to be more plausible than that he and I have been placed adjacent to each other in everlasting torment. What I believe to be more plausible, and which therefore cannot be argued by any serious debate, is that Saddam Hussein himself was not executed in Baghdad. That it was not his neck that we saw snapped like a chicken. That in fact it was one of his body doubles. And this is altogether more plausible. And that Saddam himself was brought to my hotel room to thank me for removing him from power as a mea culpa, ironically, as it were, a Paul on the road to Damascus scenario. That Saddam himself has bent the knee in the final moments of Hitchens' walk upon the earth. I do not forgive him. I do not forgive him. In fact, I do not forgive him, and I gleefully taunt him at the securement of the Iraqi gold reserves by George Clooney and Ice Cube.
Well, Mr. Hitchens, I mean, it was great. It was great to talk to you again. I mean, our world has been sorely missing your voice as as you transition into eternal nothingness on your hospital bed. As this dream continues, the dream here for Matt and I, for the rest of
spiritless, cold and kinetic eternity. I must demand that you concede an eternity that is cold and kinetic and involves no more life than the occasional electron.
And as far as our world is concerned, it has been. It's felt like hell for me because there's been a severe lack of Christopher Hitchens debates and TV appearances on.
This is the part where the nurses. This is the part where the nurses insert my own pin as a catheter. I refuse this treatment. A fountain pen used to write my most piercing works. God, fuck the cunt of God.
Well, Mr. Hitchens, like I said, my closing thought, it's felt like hell on earth for me these past years because there have been precious few and indeed none. There have been no Christopher Hitchens appearances on Real Time with Bill Maher, and that's felt like hell. That's felt like hell to me. What a
loss! We have all felt it. We have just imagined all of the new rules you could have shared.
If this were hell, if I were in hell, would I not see Bill Maher? Proof unto you.
Case closed.
The case is not closed. I disagree with you on that. The case must forever be argued. More important in the human experience than being right is to be combative. This has been known since the pre-Socratics. This has been clear to those of free minds since Marcus Aurelius. The human mind is not of purpose unless it is put to use in the action of humiliating the female sex and advocating for a war, after which none will achieve their Valhalla and none will be condemned through their below.
Well, Mr. Hitchens, like I said, it's great to know that there's a part of you that still exists somewhere out there, fighting the good fight against God, against religious belief, and against Islamofascism.
I look out very clearly. I see across a curtain of flames, and I see an eternal cloud of smoke rising from the curtain, from the shadow of the flames, and in the distance I see Orpheus attempting to carry his beloved up to the top. Up to the peak of Hades, where it returns to the immortal world. And I understand this to be a pageant. that Ariana Huffington has organized on my behalf around my abode of convalescence. And I reject it. I reject it on theatrical grounds. and I reject it. I reject it as something attempting to convince me of some sort of pagan afterlife, which I reject also as handily, as did Plato.
Mr. Hitchens, I really want to thank you for your time. God is not great, but talking to Christopher Hitchens, you can't you got no complaints. You got no complaints.
There is no. I will add this: there is no dismount that I will allow you to do without further objecting to the points that the very important points that are raised because they must be deflated. There is no elegant way. I will not concede the floor. In fact, I will tell you, I am here to plug my latest work. My latest work is a thorough debunking of Aesop and his fables. It has come to light that the fables themselves must not be taught to our children because they involve not only supernatural but lessons which are of a clearly satirical view, and we must not indoctrinate our children, whether they be our young or our children who are of advanced age and in positions of power. They must not submit to the tortoise nor to the hare, to the scorpion and to the frog. I stand astride their path across the river, and I say, sting not and swim not. Neither one is real.
Animals don't talk.
Coax! I beg you, make it end!
Christopher Hitchens, ladies and gentlemen.
Folks, we love him, don't we?
Yeah.
Not God! I will never beg to God!
Wow, hell, what a place. But I have to say, nice to visit. I don't think I want to live here.
It wasn't as bad as people said it was.
Certainly not. No, people get way overboard. It's like, it's fine. But you just imagine over time, it would get on your nerves, It's that kind of thing.
It's an experience I think everyone should have at least once in their life.
Right. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. You got to check it out. It's like seeing Paris or Houston for that matter.
But yeah, no, Satan is real.
He's real. He's working his power. He's a little twisted and he's a little sick.
We can see him and feel him in this world every day.
Every single day.
But look, we can't spend eternity here in hell.
Not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. But we'll be back. We'll be back on Earth. We'll be back on the mortal plane of existence to kick off our fall tour, starting October 1st, Chicago at the Vic Theater. We are pleased to announce we'll be joined by musical guest Solips. You will know Solips as the band of Charles Austin of E1. Got some more musical guests and special guests to announce as well. On October 8th at the theater at the Ace Hotel, we are going to be joined on stage by none other than Tim Heidecker.
That's right.
Heidecker will be guesting with us in Los Angeles. Then October 14th in New York City at the Town Hall Theater, we will be joined by Music 95 Bulls. Finally reunited with 95 Bulls. We get to be on stage with them. And then we'll also joined by special guest, a certain portly Greek stand-up, a certain gentleman who we cannot name due to promotional conflicts, but you know who he is.
You know who we're talking about.
And then October 30th in Fort Lauderdale at Revolution, we will be joined by the musical group Danzi, and we will also be joined by the same Greek stand-up who we can't name, but you all know who we're talking about. So we got a fresh slate of musical acts and comedians joining us on this tour. Tickets still available at chapotraphouse.com/live.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick that we do, in fact, also have a musical act for L.A., who we also cannot name yet due to promotional conflicts, but that is because they are big enough to actually be playing music festivals like this weekend, and we can only name them after the festival is over. So there's another act there as well.
All right, well, I've had enough.